town regular monthly meeting to order August 14th, 2020 at 1 p.m. It's postponed from, we postponed it from the first week to the second. And I'll want to go ahead and recognize that I've got a town council member, Johnson's here. I have council member Debbie Beasley. She is on the phone on call in. Debbie, are you here?
Due to the pandemic.
And this is due to the pandemic. The reason you're not here, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. At this time, everybody just stand. We'll do the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let us pray. I'm up here and gracious and follow, Lord, as pray, Lord, that you just be with us today, follow, Lord, as we come to conduct town business, follow. Follow, Lord, this will be with each and every one of us. We'll be mindful, follow, Lord, and we make good sound decisions, follow, Lord. And I just pray, Lord, that you will continue to protect Graham County, Lord, all of our citizens everywhere, even in the United States, follow, Lord, from this pandemic, follow, and get over. And follow, Lord, again, I just want to thank you, Lord, for everything that you and everything you're going to do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
We can, number 2 here, opening bids for the 96 Ford truck. There were no bids open, so I would entertain a motion for us to go ahead and re-advertise in the Graham Star for bids to be turned in September by September the 1st, and the bids will be open on September the 3rd for the sale of the 96 Ford truck.
With no reserve.
With no reserve. I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make a motion to do that, rebid, to re-advertise since there was no bids, with no reserve. Bids to be open, bids to be accepted until September the 1st, and be open on the 3rd at our regular meeting.
I second that, Taco.
Okay. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular board meetings for July the 1st of 2020.
Motion to approve the July 1st meeting minutes.
Did you say the June minute?
July.
July.
July? Yeah, I'll second that.
Okay.
Misunderstood you, I'm sorry.
I'll speak up a little.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion.
Under old business, number 5 needs to be struck.
The reason being on that being struck, Chad Carpenter, our maintenance supervisor, he was able to reprogram it using the cell phone with the distributor, and everything is working just like they had a tech up here. So that saved us about $5,800. So strike number 5. Is that okay with you, Debbie?
Yes, it is.
Okay, with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
Okay. This time, the floor will be open for public comment. At 1:06.
Okay, we need to make a motion to go into public.
Public comment, yes. Motion, please. You want a motion, Debbie?
Yeah, second it. I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Public comment. The reason I'm wondering if number 2 on the new business should be part of public comment, or is that something else?
that's something else.
Okay.
You signed up for public comment out front?
I signed my name.
Okay.
Am I supposed to say something?
There's 2 forms, but that's fine. Go ahead, John.
I just wanted to say that we, as revved up, we brought in the strategic economic revitalization plan. And with all the COVID and stuff that's going on, that's something that should really be paid attention to. But because of all COVID that's going on, everybody's been just covered up, and so I don't think we've ever followed through with it like we should. But we need to start working on that because it's kind of critical.
Well, we did mention before about setting up a meeting.
Yep, a planning session, yep. And so, whatever, I'd just like to see us start working towards that, working together towards that.
Any other public comment?
If not, I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
I'll second that.
Okay, old business. Number 1 is the town hall mold issue, quotes and repairs from the budget amendment. In your package, you've got the mold quotes. I'd like to say I appreciate Sonia. She's really taken a stand on getting the quotes, following through. She really first-handed whenever we did have the molds, hopefully all killed and all. But the first quote is for Serve Pro, and that's the removal of the mold and remediations. That'll consist of removing the ceiling tiles and the carpet and vacuuming the walls, cleaning and all. Their quote was $60,855.88.
And this doesn't,
That don't include the fixing. I mean,
that's just tearing it out.
that's just tearing everything out.
Sweet. Mercy.
Okay. Then we've got a bid here from Cliff Hall, and that's stuccoing. This is outside.
Inside.
Is that
That's just inside.
inside? Stuccoing was $41.80. That would be that wall in the storage room out here, and some touch ups in the other bathroom here, and the 2 main windows for $1,760, and then pressure washing outside $1,100. Then we've got the roof and gutter from Cox Roofing of $22,900, and then the removal of the old chimney that we don't use no more, chimney and spray and seal for $3,750. And then we got a bid from C&W Contracting for pressure washing for $1,297.28. that's a high quote on Serpro, but Serpro is coming from Asheville, North Carolina, and that would be them bringing a crew in here for a week, 2 weeks, and be putting them up in motel rooms, staying here and all, and that's to me that's a high price for just getting ready for really the money part will really hit you for putting your stucco and everything else up and new ceiling tiles, and
It's a renovation of it.
it's a renovation.
But I think we need to start with the roof. The roof and the gutter, and how to get the water away from the building, and then we move forward after that. But I say we go ahead with the roof at
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah, we need to stop the water coming in.
And removing the chimney and seal spray
Sealing the outside.
That is what was suggested that it needed, and that's where I'm at right now. We need a new roof on it to eliminate the leakage and get the water away from the building with the gutter.
So you're looking right now, the roof would be $22,900. The chimney removal would be $37.50 a bid, and that's spray and seal. We'd have to figure in pressure washing, getting that vine and everything, and the pressure washing. Cliff Hall said he could do it for $1,100, and C&W contracting $1,297. What would be the wheel there? The low bid or the? Well, you could figure I could just put down $1,300, and let me just do that and see 05, 9, 7. That's 27. Well, might as well say $28,000 right there. That would be roof, gutter, chimney removal, the exterior back sealed, painted, and all, and that would get us up to the point of.
And also the two windows is on the basement side. They're not on the upper side. They're the two that's
Oh, the
busted
two
on
windows?
The basement windows, yes.
Okay, I need to add another 1,700 to that 1,760. You're looking at right at $30,000, $29,710.
Next is, do we have the money?
Well, the money will have to come out of the fund balance. It'll be for the general fund. There is an unrestricted amount of that in the general fund balance, yes. We will do a budget amendment the next meeting. Wasn't sure which amounts to bring to that budget amendment today.
Okay. Because you didn't know which way we were
I
going.
don't know which way you're gonna go.
So the motion would be to accept Cliff Hall replacing the windows, pressure washing, and both quotes from Cox Roofing. Is that correct?
Both look right, and that way you don't be utilizing 3 contractors,
Two.
right? You're not going to use the okay, 2, okay,
Yeah.
the pressure washing and the window,
Yeah.
okay, of Cliff Hall, and the roof and then the chimney.
Yeah, I'll make that in motion for them.
That, Davey, that's them redoing the 2 windows downstairs, pressure washing the back side of the wall outside, Cox Roofing doing the roof and gutter, Cox Roofing removing the chimney and spray and sealing the back wall for $29,710.
Did Brian make the motion?
Yes.
I'll second it.
And the contractors would be Cliff Hall
Cox Roofing.
and Cox Roofing. And Sonia did say that we had the money and it just had to have a budget amendment
It'll be a budget amendment at the next meeting.
at the
yes.
next meeting. Okay.
How big are those windows?
They're paying.
They're big windows, I don't know
the-
exactly the size.
They're the old type of metal that's recessed into the concrete. And then what do you call the base of the window? Seal.
Window sill, yeah.
Seal, yeah.
Okay.
Is concreted in and stuff. They'd have to be, the more that had to be knocked out and everything. Basically kinda like what they done down in front of the old town hall,
Okay.
deal. But, okay, that's,
They're busted out and water getting into the
Right.
basement, yeah.
Yeah.
Will, Hall, and Cox. Taco and Dick. Okay, next is the Old Town Hall Leasing. I think that's our attorney.
Okay. You have, a municipality that leases property has to jump through a lot of hoops. Okay. But I have it down in a nutshell. Your first is a motion. So you're gonna have a motion to lease real property, and that can be on this, September agenda.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. And in that motion, and that's what I need help with. Well, and one of the things in that motion, you set a public hearing. You can't lease property without a public hearing, so the public hearing could be in October.
Okay.
And then the third thing is a resolution to lease that real property, and you can vote on it in the following public
I
hearing.
think we've done that.
So
Right,
you've
right
done
after
that,
October,
you've
yeah.
done that before. But the motion for next board meeting needs to be precise, and here's what I need. And we may need to talk to
Benny.
Amber Bennett, but you need the name of the entity. And she talked about maybe incorporating, so I don't have a real name.
Okay.
Okay.
We need a name, because whether it's a corporation or their individual name, it's fine. It's
Uh-huh.
just, that's
Okay,
who you're
name,
going to
yeah.
lease. If you vote on it, that's to whom you're going to lease. Okay. You identify the property, we got that. Your motion has to contain a statement that you have determined, the board has determined that the building is not needed for town purposes at this time, because whatever function could occur in there is not needed. So I need to put that in the motion why you don't need it at this time.
Okay.
And why
Well, the size is number one. One thing is the size, and cause you'd be a pushing to get this table back there.
well, the size
And
and the condition of it.
condition
Condition of the building.
and storage, lack of storage. And
Then the term of the lease, that has to be in there. And I know she wanted it for a long time, but you can't do any more than 10 years.
10 years.
There's always an exception, but the exception's a nightmare.
Uh-huh.
So, up to 10 years, because you have to reserve the right if you ever need it. And I explained that to her because she was a little bit concerned that you could turn around. But I would build something in there about notice,
Okay.
that you just couldn't decide one meeting
Yeah.
for the need of the building. Okay, the amount of the rent. And I know for great, rent, we'll call it consideration, instead of per se money in hand, you would, the consideration would be the repair of it. And I know that she sent some documents, I mean, the repairs are substantial. But you've got to know your tenant's going to do it. So you can't, the way you did great was $500 a month, based upon the tenant maintaining the grounds and providing all maintenance for the structure, except any structural repairs. So that's what you did for great. That's the rent. So the rent, first of all, what's the money amount? I need to put that. And then in consideration of that money amount would be all those repairs. But I think you need to schedule them occurring. I mean, she can't, I swear it looked like $100,000 worth of repairs, but they have to start occurring.
Yeah.
It can't all be the end of.
Yeah.
So, but come up with a monetary amount. And then the consideration would be the value of those repairs. Of course, a tenant would pay, you don't pay taxes now, but the conversion of that may trigger taxes. So the tenant would pay all that and have liability coverage with y'all as a loss pay.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Then you set the public hearing in there, so I put in October. That's the requirement.
And
So
you'd
what-
also do the resolution in October also, right?
Right, the motion would be September, the public
Of
hearing
hearing,
and
well,
resolution
yeah.
would be
October.
October.
Right.
And we can follow that with the resolution to
Right.
follow after the public comment.
After
Yeah.
public comment.
Yeah.
Subsequent to public comment. Now, the thing is, to have the motion ready for September, we need to answer those questions, so
Okay.
we'll have to get.
Whatever I need to
Okay.
do, we need to do a three-way with Miss Bennett to get everything done.
Right, we could do that. And we need, I'm not sure I have Bennett's telephone number, but, I mean, I can find out the name of the.
I think we may have it. Miss Benton, I'm sorry, Miss Benton.
Okay.
I can make sure you get that. I'll get that to you.
And just, because if they're gonna incorporate, they need to do that.
Yeah,
Because she can't just guess a name. I mean, the Secretary of State
and then change it.
will come back and say you need to tweak it, something's
Yeah.
too close. So, okay,
We'll get those to you as
Okay.
soon as we can.
all right. That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Uh,
Okay, no. Number 3, the Collins drainage update. Brian talked to Miss Collins.
And I got up with her, and she's supposed to have her son actually give us a quote to fix that drainage problem. That way it'll be fixed correct. We're actually getting more quotes for that particular area. And then we'll have a professional contractor actually do the work. So that's all we haven't got any of those bids in yet.
Right.
So as soon as we do, we'll probably present them at the next board meeting.
And I think we'll also approach Mr. Adam Bourne that done the Fort Hill one too, to see if he
Yeah,
can
I've
get a
got
bid
to
off of.
contact with him to get a quote for that
Okay.
area as well.
All right. Okay, so we need to put that on for next month's.
Yes.
Okay. Is that okay with you, Davey?
Yes, it is.
All right.
Okay. Online payment update, advertisement, Miss Sonia?
Okay, I just want to update the board that we have moved to online payments. And you can, now our customers can pay their water and sewer bill at townofrobbinsville.com. And we have been doing this for 1 month, and within 1 month, we had 29 customers pay. We received $3,215, so we're real happy about that. We want to encourage people because of this situation we're in with the COVID. This is an even better opportunity for them to pay without having to get out into the public. And so we have an advertisement that we could put in at the Graham Star. I give y'all a copy of it. If we did black and white, it'd be $180, and if we did the color copy, that looks really nice, it's $205. And it's just a suggestion to try to get the word out. We put it on our website, we sent it out on Facebook, and put it in the paper. Will just be a few more customers who don't get, maybe those other options.
Well, I think we need to go with the color copy, because
Yeah.
color catches people's eye better than black and white does.
Absolutely.
I'll put that in motion before we set the 205 ad for the online bill pay.
I agree with you, Brian. I second that.
All right.
Okay. Okay, Number 5 being struck. Is there any other old business come before the board before we go into new business? None. I'll entertain a motion to go into new business. Let's close old business and go into new. Okay. Auditors' concerns. Approval of blank purchase orders.
Okay, so our town auditors were in here in July, and when they were looking over some paperwork they saw, and also read the minutes from the last meeting, and they were inquiring why I would not be able to, make a decision or tell them about how much is in the budget, that little hesitance we had last month. And so they saw our core and main purchase orders, and they said from this point on, we don't need to issue any blank purchase orders. Purchase orders need to have dollar amounts, they need to have details, they need to, according to our purchasing policy, the first thing we have to do is find out how much it's gonna cost, and the second thing is to check the budget. And then we go on and follow through our procedures. So we don't want to approve or give anyone complete access to buy an unknown item and an unknown amount of money. And so that's what we plan to do here in the office, is to no longer give out blank purchase orders. We've set up a couple of guidelines just in case there's any emergency situations where a couple of employees in the past were able to follow our procedures, where we had set up for emergency situations where they could go to the 3 most used vendors. Those 2 employees were able to write down on the receipt what the item was for. If it's less than $500, they didn't even have to call in for a PO. So that helped us with our emergency situation. But of course, with this example that the auditor had looked at with Core and Main, it was for stock, it's not an emergency, it was a situation like that. So that's what we're gonna do here in the town
And I
now.
seen where you put the example of.
Oh, and I gave you examples, so what, that's in your packet, so you'll see what we're talking about. She would actually look at, this is an example of what happened in August, but she would have looked at over the ones in the prior year. And there's a huge concern because she said, it makes it impossible for the finance director to do her job, because as you'll see what Carrie has submitted with the USA Blue Book, that's an example of a good purchase order. She tells me how many of the items she ordered, what she ordered, and a total of what it's gonna cost. And then when she gets the packing slip, she checks it off when she receives it, she gives it to me, and then I make sure everything has been billed properly. If, let's say we order something from Core Main and they tell our maintenance supervisor it's gonna cost $80, and then they send me the bill and it's $800. Well, I can't pay off that bill, or I shouldn't pay off that bill. That's a lack of control there, because we just need our check and balances. It helps the town, answer to the state, which is what we ultimately are doing with the
Can I
taxpayers'
ask a question?
money. Yes.
Okay, when I order chemicals through ADC, I order so many gallons, but it
You don't know how many gallons
it
you
can
know.
change on our inventory. So
That's
do
right.
I need?
No,
Am I doing
you're
that
doing
okay?
everything absolutely right. She's doing everything absolutely right.
Okay,
She has a
what
reoccurring.
about like on this one here,
She put the total
or
at the bottom.
she got 2 back orders, you don't go ahead and pay before
No,
those
I'm
2?
not.
Those
No,
come,
no.
those come in.
Yeah,
I
right.
received 2
Yeah.
That came in
invoices on that.
yesterday.
I will hold
Yeah.
on to it until
Okay.
that back order's received.
And that way, that's where you contact, what
Yeah.
you're saying, you contact, make sure that those 2 that were back orders are
They came
in.
in yesterday. I'll get
As
you
I
the
say, they came in yesterday,
Yeah.
she'll give me that packing slip and then I'll be ready to pay
But,
it.
Okay.
but the 500 for emergency is still in effect.
For 2 employees that were able to follow the procedures when we did it before, yes, so we have Eric Smith and J.R. Birchfield are still allowed to do that. We did have an employee who when we tried this before, to just help us out, that employee we received 30 days of invoices from A4. I went back to that employee and I said, you didn't put on the ticket what it was to be charged for. I asked them, I said, what was this supposed to be charged for? And they said they have no idea. Of course, I wouldn't either, it's 30 days later. And so here we have, I think it was over $300 worth of things, and it, ticket, 30
Control.
days, I don't know how many.
That gives that gives more control over.
We have to,
Yeah.
because if you let your employees go down to A4 and just skip whatever they want, not tell us what to charge it to, as far as we're concerned, they could have taken it home with us. I'm not saying anyone would,
Right.
but we are
I've
set up
got
for,
something to say about this,
Okay.
okay? And I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but a lot of times, you guys just said that one of our employees took this sludge press repair and saved us $5,800. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That same employee needs the authority, just like Carrie. Now, they may not fill theirs out just like Carrie, but that employee saved us $5,800. I don't think we need to micromanage our managers. That's just my thoughts on it. They're not stealing from us. They're not taking it and using it themselves. If there's receipts there, we need to respect our managers of our facilities and let them do their job and not micromanage them. I'm telling you, it's an aggravation whenever you are micromanaged to death. If they are doing things that are wrong, you need to bring it to us and let us address them. But we do not need to micromanage the people that are over our facilities. If they're not filling out their forms like Carrie's filling hers out, we need to show them how to do it.
I agree.
If they are restocking because of emergencies, we don't need to question that. I don't know how to fix a water line whenever it busts, but I expect the maintenance men to know how, and if they ain't got that authority themselves to judge what they need, then Sonia needs to go down there and sit there, or the auditor needs to go down there and try to figure out what they need. And that's just my thoughts on it.
I agree that they need to fill them out correctly, or at least have a total.
I will not micromanage these managers. I won't do it. I've been done that way myself, and it's very aggravating. I trust Carrie, I trust Chad, I trust every one of them, and especially if there's one that has saved it, took their time to save us $5,800. Why do we want to micromanage them over a ticket at A4? Tell me.
This was a recommendation from the auditors.
I know the auditor is recommending that, but we're not seeing anything wrong here with these people.
Is A4 billing monthly or are they billing weekly now?
Sometimes
They don't.
Chad doesn't get stuff
Monthly.
Monthly still?
So I don't know.
Maybe David would like to talk about that employee that could go out the ticket in closed session.
All I'm saying is I'm not going to micromanage Carrie or Chad or any of you or Lamar. I'm just not going to do it. Those guys know what they're doing. If they're not filling out their order forms right, we just need to tell them they need to do it this way.
Okay, we'll address that to the department heads.
Yeah.
Okay. Department heads. Okay, number 2, Emma Stinnett. Emma?
Oh, Mr. Net.
I am Emma Stinnett. This is my sister Susie. You can stand. I mean sit. I'll stand. I'll stand in the middle. You go. Shuffleboard here.
Yeah.
Okay, Emma.
And I'm fogging up my glasses, so y'all have to be patient with me. It don't want to
You're
stay.
welcome to take that off since you're 6 feet apart. Yes, if you'd like to.
Good, cause then I can see.
Mhm.
I've been wearing it the whole time out there.
Mhm.
All right, thank you. What I'm here for today, couple of things. One, behind the property where I live, my daughter owns it. I have it owned jointly, and she took it over. She's a better businesswoman than me. But anyway, there's a strip of property between where I live at 273 Atoa and Marlene Hyde's property behind me on the hill on Judaluska Drive. There's a 10-foot right-of-way there that belongs to the city of Robbinsville that was taken pre-1977 charter time. They took that property to make an alleyway through there so people have easier access and the police to get to their homes and ambulances. And it has not been upkept. The only upkeep on it that's been done has been me and the neighbor, what little bit he does. But he mostly just cut it and throwed it down on me. So it's piled up over the years. We have rat infestation there. Of course, the birds love it. But he was told he had to clean his property up for financial reasons. So he did some work and threw it down on me. Then I had to pay to have somebody help me get it off of there. And what is going on is I had asked the city a couple of times, one, the mayor, and no, I didn't ask Taco, I asked the mayor, back 5 years ago. There was trees growing there, and I had a trailer sitting there, and they were falling. And so I asked, for them to remove it, because Matt Talent had told me that belonged to the city, which is the lawyer over here, and that they should be responsible for it. I asked Steve about it, and he said, no, we don't have the manpower nor the money to upkeep it. So if you want to cut it down, if it's a hazard, cut it down. So I did. But on and on and on, it's just never been cleaned up. The maintenance guy has told me twice. I asked him about spraying it or removing some of the debris out of it, which is mostly a lot of limbs and, like I said, a rat nest. Basically what it is. A lot of people, I think, had thrown trash in there before, years ago, because there's a lot of antique stuff in there. But anyway, so I was told not long ago, about a month ago, that the maintenance guy said he would check the spray and see about spraying it for me. But then he never showed up, he never called. And I happened to run into his wife down at the sheriff's office that works down there. And she had told me that he had checked the spray and it had separated.
Separate the oil. It's oil based and
It is
it
separated.
separates. It's no
And it wasn't
good.
any good.
And
So
also our licenses is one.
Well, I know
Right.
OSHA requires classes
big.
and things on, and PPE, because I've been through the OSHA classes several times in my past jobs. So I do know that it has to be posted in your place of business, what chemicals you use, what the hazard is to the environment and to people, especially if it's a carcinogen. But anyway, he's didn't get back to me, but his wife, I told her he was a fibber, because I'd also been told that they would clean out the drain where someone had opened it up right there at my yard and stuck pieces of tire, looked like come off of a tire, strips, and stuck it down in the drain clean out. That never happened either. So, but anyway, and so I was up, I'm from Poison Branch, which is off of Long Creek, which is outside the city limits. I was up that way with my daughter a couple of times. She's interested in buying some more property here, and especially since, my roots are here. But anyway, and the last time I went up was couple of weeks ago, maybe 3, and happened to see the maintenance guy there at his house, and he was mowing. So I pulled in the driveway, and he came to the vehicle. He parked the the mower, come to the vehicle, and he said, what's going on, Jane? I said, well, I'm just stopping to see, you know, if you would please spray that stuff back there. And that's when he told me he would check on it and then come and do it. But anyway, he was mowing his property on a work day. He told me that he was on his lunch break.
On his lunch break, they had mowed the Long Creek well site that day, and also the Long Creek water plant that day.
I was up through there all the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. There wasn't nothing mowed. I'm sorry, but I was there. It was not mowed.
The up around the reservoir, up above the water plant was mowed. That
Been there too. I went all the way up through there.
Did you
And I
go
got
inside the gate?
pictures.
Did you go inside the gate and up by the water plant, the tanks and everything up where the dam is?
There was no one up in there and nothing had been mowed as of that time.
You just had to have a four-wheel drive to drive up through there.
No, I drove up in the gate where you can see the tank.
Yeah, but there's an acre of grass in behind the tank up there where the dam is, up there around the curve that you can't even see from the driveway.
No, I saw the road where they broke the gate down and people have been trying to get up in there. I just went to the gate in front of the water office there where the guy parks his truck that maintains it, that sees to the chemicals and everything. I didn't drive up past the tank, no, but I could see all the way up through there. And it had not been mowed at that time. That's all I can say. It had not. It was not that bad a shape, to tell you the truth, but it had not been mowed. But anyway, so I thought to myself, this was way afterwards. This was the next day. When he came to the van and told me, he said, well, I'm on my lunch break. I thought, well, why was he telling me this? Then I got to thinking, well, he has the vehicle, the city mower, the city trailer, and lunch hour is only 30 minutes. It takes quite a bit of time to hook up the trailer onto a vehicle and then load the lawnmower and then haul it outside the city limits and unload it. So I thought, this doesn't look good on our city council members. So I came and told them about it. So that's what I'm doing here today, to reiterate that this is what I saw, what I witnessed, and what I told.
I think
Yep, y'all should have a paper. I have copies of it on my phone if you don't have it. Okay.
We probably need to pull this log, we pull this log and see what his daily work log was.
But really and truly, after the past administration, this really doesn't look good. I mean, really. And that's all I have to say. Anybody have any questions of me?
Well, I just want to address it. According to our policy, as long as he had permission, he can use town equipment with permission. That's according to our policy.
Does he pay this back to the town, or is it just taxpayers' funds gone?
Funds, what funds?
The taxpayers' money that they pay in to fund all these things. Mowing and gas and lawnmowers and vehicles and...
Well, I'm sure it's not a regular occurrence.
I don't know.
I don't know either. You said you seen him do it one time.
Well, I've been up through there twice and I've seen him there, but I didn't stop but one time.
Okay. But according to our policy, which we're in the process of redoing our policy, that as long as they have authorization or permission, they can use town equipment,
Okay.
according to our policy.
Without
That's subject to
the
change.
people?
That's subject to change. And we're gonna address the other part to the employee,
Uh-huh.
okay?
Well, I have nothing against Chad or any of his men. They're all out here working most of the time that I can see. Well, they have ever, you know. But as a taxpayer, I'm concerned that they're using our equipment and our funds to buy gas to do their own personal stuff. I mean, even if it is on their lunch break, that's fine. I don't care what they do on their lunch break. But you shouldn't be using the city's equipment and fuel and stuff, so.
And on the other issue of that alleyway,
I give up on it. I've cleaned up
we
what
don't
I
have really
can.
good access to get to the alleyway.
Well, that's exactly what I was talking to my sister about earlier. Frontier came there. I have routes in my yard where I let them pull up there. They run the lines through the power poles. There's access. The only problem is you just have to back your trailer in, not your truck. Just back your trailer in there to throw it in, which there's plenty of width. I'm sure you came and looked at it. There's width between the fence line and Freeman's gas.
Well,
Where I
Monday next week, I'll get up, we can all come down there and look at it and take some pictures, and we'll see what we can do, okay?
Oh, that would be wonderful. Especially if we can control that rat population.
We got to be in mind too, we have to get, okay there, because something might be a problem on Mr. Cole's property also. And, that would have to be, between, we'd have to be talking with you and also Mr. Cole that owns the property.
I
on
can't hear
those.
you.
They don't own the property.
Well,
They
they
don't own
don't,
the property.
but I mean, you know, the property owners,
Marlene
both,
Hyde owns it.
yeah, Marlene, yeah.
Yeah.
Both property owners had to know that we'd be there again in case something was to fall over on their property.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
she don't want anything on her shrubs.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
yes.
what I say. But
Yes,
we
for
want both
goodness
sides,
sakes.
we want both.
Please get their permission.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as access, I give you permission to drive through mine right there, and I own it till like a pinch from Freeman's, and I'm sure Earl will agree too, just to get it out of there.
Right,
The Frontier folks also did clean up a lot of the vines that was there on that bank and that pole. They were really, really nice. They were, grateful
Yeah.
for me letting them come in there.
and that's one thing, they're in the process of weeding this, cause our Graham County vine,
Native plants.
native plant, is cut through tried to take
Oh,
over the
please.
sidewalk.
They're ramping down the hill down
That's
here, yeah.
something
Oh.
we can't handle, I mean,
This
there's
on
no.
Junaluska Drive, you can't see the guardrail.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, that's
You have to
DOT.
get over on the
Yeah,
other line
on
to
the hill
keep from
same way.
scraping your
Yeah.
vehicle.
Yeah.
See, that's DOT, because
I
that's.
talked to
that-
them yesterday.
And they do not, they're not doing no long arming.
No, they said that-
And where the power line comes,
Yeah.
right there, there's a power pole right there, and it's
But you
taking
want me to
that
tell
power
you
pole.
what his excuse was? That's inside the city. And we usually give the city plenty of time to do the mowing and the cleaning up themselves before we give up and come and do it. That was his excuse.
Well, you need to tell them come down to my house and mow and grass. I can't do it.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate it. Thank
Emma.
y'all so much.
Well, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, if you don't want to hear it, shut your ears. That's all I'm telling you. I want to know when you're going to stop that traffic from down there. I am worried about them kids that play
There's a
down there.
lot of
Well,
children live down there.
I know you know and you know.
We've discussed and all, and that's one thing that's gonna have to be brought to the board for decision. We discussed maybe not the full speed bump, but have you ever seen the
The flat one.
4-foot
Yeah,
flat
yeah,
ones
about
that,
4 foot
that
wide.
all
They're
4
costly,
cars is
yeah,
on it?
But
Yeah.
But that would
It'll
slow
slow
it
it down.
down. Myself and Mr. Johnson's here, we were sitting on my front porch last night, and there's 8 or 9 kids just within that little stretch in front of mine that's there. Okay, on Yorms's Street, there's
A whole lot
quadruple,
more.
there's 3 times that many kids. I went out through there this morning, and they was some little girl with pink and orange and purple hair on a skateboard, and I was right on behind her, and she wasn't a bit more, she was in her own little world and all, and it's gonna be, that's one thing that's gonna really need to be addressed.
Yeah.
Because now we have, all of us has talked with the highway patrol and all. There's no place to really set up like a speed trap.
Mine.
I've offered them to back down in beside my house.
I've offered that too.
But state of North Carolina says you're not supposed to be on nobody's private property.
Well, I'm right there next to the parking lot where Freeman's Gas is. and the speed limit changes right in front of my driveway
Uh-huh.
from 35 to 20.
25.
And I-
No, it's 20.
20, yeah.
Nobody slows down. If anything, they speed up.
Until we make a decision on the speed bumps, I'll speak with the sheriff and see if he can't do something. If not that, then I'll speak to a couple of.
Well, do we not pay, I mean, do you not pay for the sheriff department to patrol?
No.
Well, no wonder I don't never see nobody come down to that.
That's not true. They're there watching Snyder
Yeah,
County every
they're,
night.
they're in there.
They go by my house all the time. I live
Well,
in
they
there.
speed
Yeah.
down through there. I'm
Yeah.
not stupid. I stepped there on
The
the
tribal
floor.
police stopped one for speeding 2 days ago.
Wow.
Right there by my house.
Wow.
But if you don't address speed too, if they've got a fight or something out through yonder, they're with their blue lights on and the sirens are blasted. I've seen them go down my street at 100 mile an hour.
Yep.
And they do not have control of that vehicle.
Right.
If a youngin darts out or comes off of one of
One
these
of
side
them
streets
cars.
with a bicycle or something, they're
Just
run
happened
over and killed.
yesterday. The little boy come around the
Yeah.
curve from the back street of Snyder Circle.
Mhm.
Car come down through there too fast. He had to wreck to keep the car from hitting him.
Good
Yeah.
Lord.
I know I doctored
Yeah.
his scrapes.
How much property do you own there at Snyder, front of Snyder Town, or whatever it's called?
Right
Well,
away.
we just got we just got an easement there where our sewer lines and sidewalks are.
Oh, you don't own like the state
No,
in front of the road?
We own
No.
the road. We own the
We
road.
own
That's a
the-
state road. I mean, that's a
we
town
own the
I'm
road.
sorry.
But with like like where the water lines,
Yeah.
sewer lines run down in the
Basically, it
in
cuts off at
the
the end of the sidewalk.
sidewalk
Yes, there is a
stuff.
sidewalk.
We own
Right at the end of my
7
sidewalk.
foot easement kindly right there that we could get in there and could dig that there.
Well, what
Yeah.
about the other side? You don't own none of that?
No,
No.
ma'am.
Well, all them cars that's parked there, and you know, you've seen them.
You can't get down through there. And the kids coming out between them.
That's what I was gonna
Little
say.
bitty ones about this big.
And the sheriff's department
And I'm
has been out there numerous times in the last 2 months. And they've been out there because there's a dispute between neighbors. Right there over site by height of fences and can't see, won't count of the car or whatever.
I have that problem.
Yeah.
But we will address the sheriff and whoever else needs about the speeding problem down there.
What about a sign that flashes? Do you think they think
$4,000.
teaching that? What?
Mm-hmm.
I'll fight.
Mhm.
What
Can't we
can
just
I-
put some Christmas lights up around the I mean, not even
Yellow
the
heart race cars.
motorcycles notice that. There's 3 signs there on the post right at the end of my driveway. Nobody even looks. They'll
Well,
throw your hand up on you if you're standing on the
they
porch.
don't even recognize the one-way coming up side of the hill
Oh, no.
and stuff. I mean, you
You
know.
remember that truck got hung on there?
Yeah.
You remember the Forest Service guys come up there and that truck come over and hit them? Me telling them, whoa, don't go up to there. They just waved and went right on.
We'll
All right,
address that
well.
with the sheriff. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Emma.
And I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
look for you to be down there with that wagon.
I said I'd come look at it and we take some pictures first.
But believe me, Floyd's gonna say okay.
Okay.
Next one, reservoir clean out, budget amendment. This here is for the Burgess Creek and Long Creek reservoirs. We cleaned this out 2 years ago.
I think it's
A little over 2.5
It's
years
been longer than
ago.
that. It was
3 years,
before we
yeah.
come off.
It was 15.
Was it
15 was that the
15?
drought?
15.
15.
It was the year of the drought.
Yeah. And it is since then sealed from all the rain, high water, and everything. It's just practically leveled with the
We have,
top of the dam, the weirs, and you just got the top of the water. And whenever they turn it on, up there, they're getting the foamy suds. Well,
we got Long Creek. We can't
Yeah.
use Long Creek now. It's
cause it's
it's
And I seen the note on here, it says waiting on Forest Service approval, is that
well, see the on the road going up to Burgess
okay,
Creek.
on the
there's
road itself?
there's some trees that's
ready
about
to
to
fall.
fall, and if the equipment goes up through there, in order to get the equipment, it's gonna be hitting these trees, and ain't gonna be a falling. you just got to get your blessing from the Forest Service. They're cutting trees on their property. Cause the town don't own that property.
We're at a
So
point.
I'll make a motion, we'll go ahead and do this, pending the Forest Service approval on those trees.
And Mr. Stewart said that his equipment is sitting on Long Creek right now.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, if he gets the go ahead, we can be back up in business in a few days.
We need to be back in business.
Oh, big time.
Well,
Oh, absolutely.
the reservoir, I worked last night, and the reservoir we just got Rock Creek to it right now because
Right.
we can't turn those others on right now, and we're not spilling right now. So it's
Yeah.
as soon as we can get. I mean, it's one of those.
ASAP.
Yeah.
I'm making a motion to approve the $4,000 quote.
How about the, but can
Remove
we do
this.
the budget amendment today?
Yeah, it's attached.
Okay.
That's budget,
I'll second that, Brian.
Okay, yeah, because we gotta keep water flowing into that plant, because that's the only one we got.
Exactly.
Yep.
And the wells ain't gonna do it.
No, not by themselves, they're not.
Okay. Alright, moving right along.
No, I didn't hear her. Did she say
I make
something?
She said
Yeah, she
second.
seconded, Debbie seconded.
Budget amendment. On the budget amendment, it's been approved.
Well, we passed the $4,000 quote. so-
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, moving right along here on the sludge pump rebuild. Brigman Electric, this pump had been down and we've seen it, they've got it in hand. A new pump would cost us $6,800 to get one that's what we use. They can rebuild this one here for $2,800, and I've got their Chad's got their estimate here. What they
With the
said.
rebuild, Mayor, does
Yeah.
it come with any type of warranty?
Yeah, it's a year warranty on that. And
So we
that
gotta-
just
again-
consists of the windings and everything in there.
Again, that's something that we gotta have to keep our sewer plant up and running.
And that is the $2,800
And,
for just the pump.
Do they have that in the,
That's a sewer
Yes.
plant.
and the money's in the budget for it, so I'll go ahead and give them approval to have them rebuild it and get it to us, so we can get it back in operation?
Is that form of motion?
Yes.
I second that.
All right.
Okay, the next one on the same sheet right up there above it, this sewer jet hose, this here is with 2 price cuts. The first one, and then the first price cut, was like 500 something, and the other one was right at 500. So that's $1,000 cut off of, the finagling with Chad with the vendor, and it's $1,453, and that's replacing 500 foot of the sewer hose. We've probably got about 20 splices in the hose there, and it's getting brittle. And I didn't kind of motion to go ahead and purchase it for $500 if he has that in his budget, and Sonia shakes her head yes that he does. I will entertain a motion to purchase a sewer jet hose.
I'll make a motion to purchase the sewer jet hose to replace the old wore out hose for $1,453.
I second that, Brian.
Alright. Septic receiving camper procedures and fees.
Go ahead, Sonia.
Okay, so so we've taken over the septic receiving, and I just wanted to discuss about camper procedures. See, the way it is right now, if a camper goes in there, which is very rare, they said, this past month is common, in July was 6, but that was a high camper type month because people go camping. but a lot of times it's not gonna be very much. And so what's happening right now, since we've taken it over, they can't take cash, they can't accept cash. The county is waiting for us, but they're not going, they can't process our payments for us. So they're having to give me the information for this camper, and then I mail them a bill for $15, and then they will mail me a check for $15. So in the month of July, which will be our high month, after you take the expense out, we made about $82 on campers, okay? I would like to suggest that when the county did that before, they just charged $10 for campers. Since the county is waiting for us, I'd like to recommend to the board that they just let the county keep that $10 as a token of thank you for helping us out with this.
For weighing all of our vehicles.
And my son works out there, and you know as well as I do, throughout several states, counties and all, sometimes some of these campers and stuff don't have a tag off of a 1947 Studebaker on this said camper rather than, tagging it. And if they write down this tag number, we don't have nowhere we can go, because hold it a second, that's titled to Joe Blow, and he's been dead for like 40 years. Well, you don't know where to get it. So if they can go ahead and get the Carnage out, it's not a big amount and a big sum and everything. And I'm with Sonia there. I think we could just turn that over and let the county collect on the campers.
I agree too.
All right, so
Okay, I'll
talk
make
over.
that motion form that the county could take the fee for the camper dumps only.
Yes.
And I'm sure they'd be acceptable to that.
I second that, Brian.
Okay.
All right.
All right, moving on, number 6, water bills, late fees, and shut-offs.
Does it show, you want to show your address, or just to go over it with you?
Just go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one is, we've said that we can say names on the, I guess,
No, we don't release the name. We're addressing the shut-off, late fees and shut-offs.
oh, wait a minute, we're not talking about.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about that before.
No, this is about the governor's order. We have to rescind that.
Okay, yes, the government has released the Executive Order 124 and 126, which restricted us from shutting off water, and that has expired as of July 29th. And so what I'd like to ask the board is if they would vote to let us go ahead with the guidelines of the governor. If somebody has taken care of setting up payments, working towards it, we're gonna work with them. But for everybody who qualifies to be shut off, we're gonna shut off on Monday. I don't even know if needed to vote on it. You might just wanna be aware of it, that it's over, and we're going back to our regular procedures.
But
Yes.
we need to cut, you want to set a date, no shut-off on Friday.
Well, they've had, say, when was the 29th? A couple weeks.
That's right.
Now.
And we'll be shutting off on Monday, and then they'll give them that whole week. And of course, we're gonna treat every customer equally. It won't matter who they are. If they haven't paid their bill and they qualify according to our procedures to be shut off, on Monday, we're shutting everybody off. We give them great notice. We put it out on.
And we're just resuming regular business.
Or
again.
resuming
Regular
regular
business.
business on
But I
Monday.
think we're still gonna waive the credit card fees.
That's right. I'd like to
Yes.
request that.
We'll be no longer acquiring credit card fees
For this time period, for a little, to give people.
for a little while longer.
Yeah.
Are we trying to recoup what we've lost on credit card fees from this?
The governor has not allowed
Allowed
that.
that yet.
If it happens, we certainly will try.
Yeah, because I know you. I've asked you numerous times. You told me how much we had
I know,
we've lost.
We did.
Yeah.
It made an impact on us.
But
Right
now,
now, we have customers, they're just our late ones that will be shutting off on Monday. they owe about $13,000. So that's a big impact on us since we weren't getting that $3,500 a
Right.
month for late fees. And so we will go back to late fees with our next billing and we'll shut off on Monday.
Yeah, I say we resume regular
Resume.
business.
Regular.
What do you think, Debbie?
I agree, Brian. It's time for us to
Try to get back on track.
try to do what, the customers used to being what's required of them.
Yeah. Get them back in the same habit they were. We were doing really well to this hit. So
That's why the shortfall was there at the end of the budget there in June. Okay, a recycle announcement.
Okay, so I would like to ask the board if we could put a little message in the paper saying that the town no longer picks up recycling. I talked to Gavin, asked him, because I noticed that we've been taking the recycling and put it in the regular trash pickup, and we had some customers come in and say, why am I separating and then you're putting it in the regular trash pickup? So Gavin says that he doesn't know the last time, he could look out on his, but it's been about 6 months since we did pick it up. So I didn't want any of our taxpayers to, since we're providing that as a service, to be frustrated because they separated it. We just want to announce that we no longer pick up recyclables.
what do
since
they
we're not.
what do they recycle? We
Well,
need to find
I
that
just
out.
want to let them, well, if we're gonna, we just need to let our customers know we're not picking up, so we're not picking up, because we're not been picking up. I mean, he said that we do it about 3 times a year, but it's been about 6 months since he's seen that truck come through his. So I just want to make them
I'll
aware.
have a
If we ever-
conversation with Gavin,
Yeah.
find out what they do recycle, because they don't recycle everything.
Cardboard
So
is their main,
are you
the
saying we're
main
gonna start
distributor.
picking up recycling again if Gavin tells you?
We'll pick up the recyclables that they collect out there, because it's useless if we
Okay.
pick up recyclables that they don't even
Right.
recycle out at the
So
recycle
ask Gavin,
center.
because I know that we put out cardboard, it goes into
If
there.
anybody, just put that we're addressing the issue if we get any more calls on it, and then we'll go from there.
So recyclables will start to
Is
be
that
picked
motion,
up.
Taco?
As soon as we find out from Gavin what they've recycled,
Based
then
on-
we'll put a notice out of what will be
Okay.
picked up.
Ask, yeah.
You okay with that, Debbie?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Customer no balance and additional late credits.
This is the one I thought we were on, so, this is one I was wondering if you wanted, Sherry to come in here. We've done this in public before, because I know it's been in the minutes, so we're requesting a 3rd leak credit for a customer. This customer's balance is now at $1,292. They had a big leak, they're a renter, they're not gonna be able to pay it, their landlord is not paying it. And so we're going back to the board to say, can we have a 3rd leak credit for this customer? It was an ongoing leak that
But
landlord knew about but didn't fix,
That the owner was aware of, but never would fix.
And since, we give the 1st and the 2nd, we have, she's been paying her
Yeah.
bills as regular on time since then, but she's just not gonna be able to pay that $1,000 old bill
No,
at all.
What do you think on the old bill?
Is this not the one where they said that the owner was supposed to get it fixed?
Yeah.
Yes,
Sherry
and
has
yeah,
spoke
they-
with the owner. It's fixed, and she's got regular
Reading.
in-town rates, regular readings. But the owner was aware ever since it started. The owner of the property was aware since this started in effect, and it was fixed. Let's see, back.
October.
I'm reading it wrong.
That'd be
No.
October 23rd, 2019,
Mhm.
according to that.
Yes,
Maybe.
that's when it was fixed. But the owner of the property knew about it from the get-go.
Mhm.
So, and we've already granted her 2 leak credits, and we approved a 3rd, but there's still an outstanding balance of a little over $1,000. Is my understanding? Is that correct?
Right.
Okay.
So that's at the
The owner of the property or the renter?
The owner of the property, if she's been paying her bill,
Sherry, can you step here a minute?
Something
Or
to
we just gonna
consider,
write that
small
off.
claims court for the owners.
Do you think could we not just write that amount of leak off with Cindy
See,
on
he's
the property
talking about
owner?
this, and they're discussing about the,
Have-
third credit, and Debbie was asking about the owner. And I can tell you that we can't go after the owner because the renter is who filled out the paperwork. And so the renter is ultimately responsible for the bill. We would have already sent it to the owner, but we can't, you know.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, because I was gonna suggest small claims court for the owner.
The owner's not capable
Yeah.
of that in her medical condition, I just wanna say.
No, she's saying the owner of the property.
Oh,
The owner of the property is small claims court.
oh,
That
Because-
she probably could do on her part. Could she, on the actual lady in question? Couldn't she actually contact her?
The tenant
The
against
tenant.
the owner. Um, This raises a good point. It was the tenant who applied for water,
Yes.
but it's the owner that had the issue with.
Yeah, he was
Yes.
aware, they
I
were
don't
aware
know
of it.
that ever excuses the owner. Um,
Okay, for right now, let's, see if we can do a little
Do a
more
little more digging.
digging on it, and then we'll address it at our next meeting.
Right.
We need to table that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
and then you have a second
We got
one.
another one. We'll table that issue.
Okay. Next one.
So then the second leak credit would be, they already have 2 leak credits, and so this third leak credit for them would be for $114.
Okay, thank you.
Because our policy is that a customer can have 2 leak credits,
Yes.
and if they want any more, we have to bring it to the board to vote on. That's the reason we're bringing these 2 issues.
Have they fixed this leak?
Yeah, they got 2 leak credits with their first issue, and now they've had another issue, and they got it fixed, and they need a 3rd credit. See, they're within their year.
Yeah, their year ain't up till December. But the leak is fixed,
Mm-hmm.
and this is, let's see, this is this last bill, I guess, the 7/27 of 2020.
Yes.
Well,
Well,
there
no,
was
that
another bill, it's just that this one she gave me the copy.
Okay.
Oh, well, look at the bottom, yeah, 727, it would be including,
This was last month, I believe.
this is last.
Yes. So,
Yeah, so the new bill is probably,
Whereabouts is this meter at?
what's the address?
Yeah.
We'll have to ask Sherry, but let's see if she's still.
cause she was averaging just basically a flat rate. And then she started having there,
And then they thought they had a fix and they had another.
there in November of 19,
And then it was normal, and then it.
and then normal, and then
Yeah.
it started there in April of 2020. Well, yeah, 20. That's the bad thing about being a tenant, a renter. You got headaches and but on the previous one that was tabled,
Yes.
their this lake that they finally fixed it was at his corner of his property where it connected onto the town where the meter was.
This one here?
Yes, and it was a good 150 foot from the house. And, you know, water not showing up.
I mean, we have granted some in the past, I know,
Oh, big time.
not many, I mean,
Okay, so this is the address. It's on
Okay.
Clover Road.
okay, I know what's
Did I miss anything?
What would be the will of the board on the third lake ready?
I'll make a motion to approve, but they need to understand this, it can't be
This
a
is it.
regular habit.
I second that. It looks like it's happening just every
9 months.
a little bit less than 9 months.
Yeah,
You know, something needs to,
but I'm sure Sherry will address that with them when she calls them.
okay.
Alright,
I'm in agreement with you, Brian.
alright.
Okay. Number 9, code red agreement. Brian, you got?
This is that notification system that some of our constituents have asked for. It update them on water outages, updates on anything that we need to put out to
Boil
our
water.
customers. We can put them out instantaneously. We won't have to wait. Both our water department head and our maintenance will both have access to put out those announcements.
Yeah, because
So-
Chad, he would do the wastewater
Yeah.
side of things.
And I'm sure you have to put on he has to put a lot of stuff in. You can put your yearly thing on it, or at least somewhere where they can go
Yeah.
view it.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah. So,
Because we've had customers that said, hey, if I needed to boil my water, I would have liked to know right away. I
Yeah.
don't look at Facebook, I didn't
and
know,
to
so.
my understanding, it notifies the customer via cell phone, email, home phone, and text.
Does text?
Yes.
It does text?
It does
Okay.
text. Yes, it does all of those.
That'd be great.
And that's for $1,200.
If they option to put that information in, because they'll have to register for it and then get it that way.
Okay.
And that's for $1,200.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Is there any way they can put the Duke Power outages on there too? Because I'll tell you that, we never get any.
You can sign up for Duke outages. I get them every time on my
Do you?
phone.
I get an email or text.
I get both. Yeah,
Okay.
every time.
I never find out about them.
I do too.
Not the light switch don't work.
Well, it went dark all of a sudden.
So I'll make a motion to approve this and have approval upon mayor's signature.
I second that, Brian. Thank you for finding this for us.
Okay. Next on the agenda is RTA council appointment open seat.
Debbie?
Well, this is my 3rd year,
Yeah.
and I was chairman, and I guess I need to step down from it and allow someone else to do it. I'm not sure what the rules are. At the last meeting, they said that there didn't have to be an alderman on the council. I
They
don't
do.
know what the rules stand, but the way I read it, that an alderman had to be the chairman.
It does.
It does.
And, I mean, it's entirely up to Karen, but I think I need to step down as far as chairman because I'm on my 3rd year now.
Yeah, I mean, we can address that in November. If that's all right, if you care to stay as chairman till November.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
fine.
then, but we were talking about Miss Phillips's seat.
Yeah, we need to find someone for that seat also.
And I spoke with Karen, and she gave me Becky Ward from Quality Inn, representative from Quality Inn, which is the most, we get the most occupancy tax from that establishment. So I think somebody from that establishment should be
And she's
represented.
the manager.
I'm assuming so.
She is a manager, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think she is. 'Cause I
And,
had to deal with
she
her
said she'd be willing to
but
serve?
I think Becky would be.
Yeah, and Karen said she talked to her and she'd be willing to serve, so, at this time, I'd like to make a motion to add, Becky Ward in place of Ann Phillips, and she will have a one-year term, is that correct? Yeah, a one-year term.
I second that, Brian.
And then, we'll try to find somebody when, you step down in November.
Okay.
You also have another vacancy according to your, did you get a copy of that? You also have one that's in the one-year term as of February.
Oh, yeah, we need to reappoint one, I'm sorry. It looks like, Mr. Adams' 1 year was up in February, we need to reappoint him to that board. As our board, we need to appoint him to that board, I think, is the way it goes.
Well,
I agree with that.
and we need to remind all board members too about the, 3 meetings.
Well, they'll get a copy of the procedures.
Okay.
Yeah, at their first meeting, I guess. So, I'll make a motion to reappoint Sean for another 1 year term to the RTA Council.
I second that, Brian.
Alright, moving on, number 11, Westport Hill Drive Water Tank Road improvements.
We have a right of way from our water line to upkeep the road, and there was an opportunity come up about to refix the ditch line, and it's to state specs, and to half the cost of the paving up past the steepest part of the hill on Water Tank Road, I think it's called, or something. That'll help us out in the long run, because we usually haul about 6 loads of gravel and ditch line and all that up through there every year to maintain it. This should keep us from having to go up there as much, and it will be, I think it was cost effective. So with that being said, I approve this, is it 11?
It's 11,500. Yeah.
11,500 for that work that was done on Fort Hill Water Tank Road, or whatever it's
That was
called.
that was paving and ditch.
Yes.
Right?
And that was, I've done lost my train of thought. But anyway, it's already been done, and we do have another quote, but I'll bring it up next month. It's for a different project.
Okay.
Oh, I need a motion, I need a second on that, Debbie.
I second that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking through that.
Okay, and,
on your handout there, that next quote, that, we just need to table it to next month.
yes,
That is about the runoff there where it
on the
came-
back side of the
on
tank,
the back side of the tank where
overflow.
it overflowed, and we had to go over there and clean out a ditch line over on Old Little Road. You remember, Debbie?
I do, yeah.
This should eliminate that problem,
Okay,
but we'll revisit that next month.
sounds good.
Okay. Number 12, budget amendment, maintenance supervisor comp pay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay. 13, finance report.
Okay, in your packet, I put a budget versus actual, both summary and detailed, for the general fund. That audit has been completed, and we have done the adjustments, so these are our final numbers. After we took the fund balance out for the new work truck, we had a remaining balance of $103,854, which will go into our fund balance for the next year, which will cover this cost that we're having to go work towards this mold issue. So, our county tax collections last year was 95.16%. The county collects our taxes, and that means that they almost collected all of the taxes that were outstanding. That's a real good
I
number.
think it was like,
And luckily,
it was a real small percentage that was left.
that's right, like maybe 5%-ish. And so that's really good because, you know, it's hard to get from 100%, but we were lucky that the COVID situation happened in March, so a majority of the taxes had already been collected. So our general fund, we luckily went ahead and looked good. Now, the next meeting, I'll bring you the ending numbers for the water and sewer, because we're still working on that, and I'll bring you how we're looking in July. But I do know that already the county has collected, I believe, 17%. So even though that we're at the first of the year, they've just mailed out the bills, and we're already collecting taxes. So that is all I have.
I need to, I forgot about this. Need to amend the agenda to add that,
I forgot about something. Can I say something? I'm sorry. Wait, I have one more thing.
Yeah,
I was
that you
supposed,
would.
it's your last thing. I was supposed to tell the board. Is
Hard
that what
drive.
you were gonna talk about?
yes.
Oh, good. We can amend.
This?
We can amend. I was
Yeah.
gonna do that in finance update. I just wanted to make the board aware that we're having a little issue with our front desk computer, and Abraham, which is our computer maintenance specialist, has said that he recommends putting a new hard drive in there, which is for 205.
205, right?
And because we keep getting a message.
250.
250.
250.
250, thanks.
Will that take care of that?
Yeah,
That,
that's what he thinks is the problem.
okay.
And we gotta have it, cause that's our main tax rate.
Thank you, right.
I'm sure, yeah. Sitting there long enough.
Need a motion to approve the 250 to replace the hard drive in the front computer.
I'll make a motion to approve the 250. The hard drive.
Okay. You second that?
I mean, yeah, that's it, sure.
All right, is there any further new business before we go into closed session?
We got anything for closed session?
Do we have, have you got anything for closed session? Well, if not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn this town board meeting on the 14th here at 2:30 p.m.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you for being here, Miss Debbie. And I also like to thank the Rim Star for live streaming.
That's right. Getting it started. Thank you, guys.